broadcast live.
Where your homies at?
Fight.
Steady proof, telling truth, still kill, still real, off the chain, getting gains, never change, I'm still the same. You never see me, you see the flame.
Let's handle. What's poppin', family? What's poppin'? Welcome, family. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? Yo, Slick.
Can you see me now?
I can see you, bro. Can you see me?
I can see you.
What's up with this shit, man? Yes, sis.
Yo, sorry, man. You there?
Yeah, I'm good. You good?
Yeah, sorry, man. My mom's just calling me. I'm gonna call her back just now.
Hey, what's up, moms?
Speaking about moms, you know, this still about Nomvula.
You know this thing about moms, bro.
The timing is perfect. You know what I mean?
It's always perfect, bro.
I think like you dropped your album like after like the Twin Towers fell. Right after.
Yo, bro.
You know what I mean? You
Yo,
know?
I planned everything, bro, you know? So the fact that this happened, it like kind of threw a lot of things to the wayside. But I'm not too mad, man, because I think like when you look at what's happening, you're not the only one it's happening to. So I can take that L.
But you're the only one that dropped this dope album.
Oh, big facts. Yo, all right, speak on that, Slick. I need you to elaborate on that, bro. Because if I elaborate, I'm the cocky one.
Tell me what you would have been doing if you weren't locked up right now. I mean, like I said, I was thinking about it. I just felt that like you had this plan to drop this album, and everyone was just talking about lockdown, and you kind of almost kind of drowned in all that noise, you know. I mean, what would you be doing if we were free?
I mean, look, I was working on doing a private launch for the album prior to releasing it, you know. I think my journey since the hustle, like I've been able to make networks and all of that stuff, but I'm the kind of person who doesn't like asking for favors, you know. I like working for everything that I get, you know, and giving everybody the respect wherever their craft is due, you know. Just because you're next to people doesn't mean they're going to put you on. So what this time around, usually with my releases and launches, I didn't involve people. I didn't involve my networks and all of that stuff. I was just trying to make the relationship between me and my fans, you know? So this time around, I invited, I think it was about 111. You were on the list as well. So that's the invitation I was going to put out. But then when they were kind of guessing that the lockdown was going to happen, I was like, let me not send it out, because, you know, they had the whole, people can still be out, but you can't gather 100 people. And I had like 105. Me and my guy, Nicky, were just going around looking for venues. We had a venue, it was all set, deposit and all that stuff, you know. Until that happened, then we had to kind of like cancel that, because the plan was going to do the launch, and then the following day the album drops. And then my plans regarding the album was going to be me going to different cities and making sure that people have it on their platforms, like radio platforms, because I have these relationships with them, communication email-wise and online-wise. You know, they're always telling me, yo, when you're going to come to the city? I'm like, I'm planning for it, you know. I just needed to have an album. But with this happening, I kind of had to take the L, because we had already set the date 3 months in advance. Because, you know, when you work with the Apple, Spotify and stuff, there's a whole lot of stuff that needs to happen on the back end of everything. And you can't necessarily be like, yo, I want to drop an album this Friday, and ignore the planning that needs to come with all of that. So we had already decided 3 months prior. So closer to the lockdown, I was like, yo, should I drop this album? Should I push it back? And I was like, people are bored and they want to listen to music. So I think now is the best time for people to actually let the music simmer. And then afterwards, once they've learned the music, I can continue with my plan.
So let me ask a question, right? And I mean, I got this idea from somewhere else, or someone else. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk. I mean, normally, how does a listening session work? Do you play a bit of the song, talk about the song, play the bit of song? Is that how you generally plan it?
No, so the launch, that's not how I had planned it. What I had planned was I have a like a rapport relationship with this lady by the name of Zanel, and she was gonna host the thing. So people were gonna be able to walk in, like it was gonna be a themed thing, and people were gonna be expected to dress a certain way, and we're gonna have like a nice little red carpet where people walk in. I had worked on building a ShabZi Madallion banner, a big thing where people were gonna take pictures prior to getting in, mingle, network, and maybe give it like 15 minutes for people to settle in, be inside. And then we get in, they haven't seen me as yet. So me and Nikki had pre-packaged me breaking down Nomvula in a video. Because the thing is with listening sessions, you never know how long it's going to take, and you never want to bore people for too long. You know, you never want to assume that people are interested to be with you for a whole hour, an hour and a half, you know? So you have to give people certain experiences. So we prepackaged this video, 12 minutes, me breaking down my favorite songs and me explaining why I named the album Nomvula, you know? So after that 12 minutes, it was going to be us networking, staying around and giving people the finger foods, and people could leave anytime that they wanted, or those that wanted to stay and have a chat or have a side interview thing. That's how it was going to go, you know?
So, I mean, let's make it virtual then.
I worked.
Where's that video? Where's the video?
Oh, damn, okay.
12
You want me
video.
to play it like while people watching it?
I know you got to be at work, right? So I was going to suggest that we do a whole flyer, you know, and we literally like, you send me that video. I think I've got a tool that allows me to kind of show 3 screens, which means that I can play the video, right? And then from then on, we can talk about that. So I'm thinking that like, I'm just going to be testing it out tomorrow evening. I think I've got a tool that can allow us to go on the IG live, get people to watch the video, this 12-minute video, and then you can actually like launch it. And then, you know, we just get it to it. You communicate to your whole team, to everybody that like you're going to have the launch, and we make it happen, you know?
Bro, I can send that video to you easy. Easy.
All right, then I say that, yo, send that through, man, and let's do it. And then I think that what we can do, you know, is because we lost some time right now. Let's use that as the session where you actually virtually launch the album.
No problem, bro. I'm down, bro. I'm down.
So let me just do this. Who is gonna do this flyers for you guys on your side?
So I can get my guy Nikki to do the flyer for. We can set up a date. What date you want to set? I can put there the whole Slikour Live, that kind of stuff on it.
Yeah, I mean, let's do that, you know, because there's this thing on YouTube, you know, that my son likes watching about movies, Marvel movies, like how they would have ended. So people come with their opinions on how the shit would have ended, a Marvel movie or whatever. So, hell, man, you know, this is how it ended. This is how it can end in the digital world. You know what I mean? So let's create another narrative. You know what I mean?
Big fat, bro. I'm a content guy. I'm a creative, bro. I'm down for like anything that's got to do with us evolving and, you know, showing dope shit.
Okay, cool. I think we got to do this then. I'm going to make my calls, you know. In fact, I'm actually testing the system tomorrow evening, you know.
Okay.
And, if the system
still there,
system is popping, I think then we can literally make a huge announcement about the loan. You know what? We could even do it on a
Saturday.
Yeah, we could even do it on a Saturday. You know, but let's confirm dates, and I'll get back to you, and let's do that. You know.
Okay, cool. So what do you need from me now? Now I must just send you the video and try create some form of virtual album launch, Slikour, ShabZi Madallion type of thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
That's what we need to do right now.
okay. Can we do anything? Maybe chat about two things just before we bounce for the people that are here, not to
Yeah,
make them
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like we
yeah.
take time.
Yeah. You know, my thing is that like I'm also having a problem with my IG now, where I can
Oh,
only see my hair, and it's got like the send request thing, um, and I can't basically see anything outside the send request thing. So I can't even see myself. You know, literally like
damn.
when I do this, I see my two eyes now, see my nose now, see my mouth now.
Mm,
Literally
mm,
like I can't see anything. And I don't know why it's acting up and doing this. Right now. But
mm.
um, but Instagram, I say yet. But let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Yeah, maybe expound on your statement about the best album right now. I'm
Okay.
curious.
Well, look, I mean, like, firstly, as I told you when you played it for me the first time a few weeks ago, if you're a ShabZi fan and you've been following Shabs, or even if you're not a ShabZi Madallion fan, if you're catching up on him now, I think this is the
Mm,
best time to catch up on him as an artist. If you caught up on him earlier and you're like not sure, and you're wondering whether you should actually like go, should I hear him? Because last time I felt this way. I think this is the
yeah,
best time for anyone to listen to your album, because I think for the first time in my listening to your career, you literally like sound like yourself, like I was saying.
yeah,
I feel that like you saying a lot of truths. You smart generally, and you like a conscious dude, not conscious like conscious, but you're more conscious than other people.
yeah,
And sometimes you listen to some people's content, and they're lyrical, they dope, they can flow, but it's still not their consciousness. You know what I
yes,
mean?
yes,
It's still like it's still a almost like a interpretation of their version of what consciousness is from whoever they are inspired by.
yes,
I don't know if that makes
yes.
sense.
That makes
So
sense. Yeah,
I think that this album is the first time that like I think you broke away from the frustration of interpreting, and I feel
yeah,
that like you kind of you almost felt like the interpretation was literally like limiting you. You know what I mean?
yes,
It was limiting you because you couldn't actually tap into like something that you really really know, which is you.
yes, yes,
You know what I mean?
yes,
So that disconnection of yourself literally was lost in ideology of yourself
yes, yes,
in a lot of the previous songs that I've heard from you. So I felt like
yes,
this was the first album where like I could say, oh, this is who this cat is. Imagine
yes,
that you can rap well, you can write well, and which a lot of people can do, but then you also find yourself.
yes,
I think this is
yes,
the one project where you found yourself and clear in the music.
yes. Nah, definitely, bro. I think, my journey, bro, I won't lie to you, man. It's always been authentic, man. There is nothing that I've ever done where I wasn't trying to be myself. I think the toughest thing artists go through in the public eye is growing in front of them. You know what I mean? Like 5 years ago, I was 24. You know what I mean? And if you look at where hip hop was at that age, cool. There are kids now who are 24 and wise and are well aware of who they are and what they have to offer. But when I was 24, bro, hip hop had the best year of its life. Bokarakara dropped. Like, a lot of people were hot that year. So, and they were hot based on being dope. It had nothing to do with like antics. It was easy to embrace hip hop. So I think when you are coming from a place of, because I'm one of those kids, I didn't necessarily grow up liking too much of the hip hop in SA. There are few MCs who impressed me growing up, which I always went to their albums for, which is Tumi, Zabs, and if you look at it, like, it makes sense. When people mention my name with them, it makes sense. I didn't grow up listening to any other artists other than Uzola, Prenda Fasi, and that's all because of my moms. So I think I agree with everything that you say about me. I think the hardest thing with me in my journey, I'm a stubborn guy. If you say something that resonates with me about myself, I'm going to change, you know? I'm going to be able to implement it and become it. But if you say something about me that doesn't resonate at all, I'm not thinking about that, yo. Like someone will say something about me, it will fly out of my ear and I won't hear it. And if it was a bar, then I missed it, you know, and I'll catch it as I keep growing, you know. And I think that's where my journey stems from. It was really authentic. I wasn't trying to force anything or do anything. The guys that I studied coming up, I studied them for the craftsmanship. Even if some people felt like, yo, man, he's got a Kendrick cadence. I had a Kendrick cadence, but remember, pulling off a Kendrick cadence is not easy, you know? So you can be mad that you're calling me Kendrick, but you can't do what he does. And you saying I'm emulating that, that speaks to a skill that I have. Now you're saying if I merge that skill with knowing who I am now, it's much easier. It's like palatable.
Yeah, yeah. And like I'm saying, you know, when you do talk about how you got the cadence of like a Kendrick and everything else, you know, it really is that thing where they say that the worst devil is the devil that you don't know. There's some smart shit like that people say. Some proverb, parable, I don't know what they say, you know? And the whole thing about creativity is that we all influence each other.
Yeah.
And when you don't know, when like the Kendrick cadence is subconsciously in you and you don't even know it because you heard it from him and you never knew that he influenced you. So as much as you've never tried to be like anybody else, you know, you've always like, there's this subconscious influence of other things that you're not even aware they're influencing you.
Yeah.
And that's what I broke away from on this album, where it literally, this is you. You know what I mean? It's like I don't see you 2-3 years ago knowing how to fit your mother in your raps.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, and that's when you kind of know where a person's at, because anyone can go, yo, mama bought me this, mom. Yeah. But like but when you fit them in authentically and it's comfortable and you almost like and you shout about it, where you now know how to fit your reality in your content. So I don't think you were able to fit your reality in your content in the previous work that I've been hearing, even though you could slip it in, but it wasn't the intimate kind of like, it was just deep, but you couldn't really put your intimate life in your music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, you know, in years to come, people will learn this about me. My story is complex, bro. I come from both sides of the world, bro. You know, like my parents divorced early, bro, very early, you know, and I've been exposed to different lifestyles, you know, a good life and not so much of a good life, all at one time. And it's not the easiest thing to articulate or talk about, because if people don't come from where you come from, it's harder to understand you. You know, it's harder for certain things to hit. And for me, from the good life perspective, there's certain things I don't resonate with from that good life. And then there's, on the not so good life perspective, there's certain things and people I don't resonate with, because people hold on to their stories too much, bro. Because I feel like we're meant to become more beyond. We're supposed to grow into something bigger than ourselves. We're not supposed to be where we are from. You know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't wear where I'm from on my back if it has traits of toxicness. You know what I mean? Just to stay true to my roots and whatever. Like, if the way they moved back home wasn't dope here and here, I'm going to leave that out. I can't stay loyal to something that doesn't help me grow, you know? And so every year I figure out a way to tell my story bits and pieces, because I know it's a complex story. People see me and they have their perception of me just from seeing me. or seeing what I have or this, that, and that influences the way they behave around me. And now I almost have to be aware that, okay, cool, this person switched up, and I know that they switched up. You know what I mean? Because I'm an empath like that. So my story, I'm not delaying on telling it because I don't want to tell it. I know it's a complex story. That's why I have so much to say, bro. That's why I've dropped, like this past 5 years, I was looking when I was working on sending the press releases and everything. I've worked on 11 projects, bro, since the hustle. And before the hustle, I have 11 more. You know what I mean? And that's not because, bro, I got a lot to say, bro. I have a lot to say. There's a lot in my heart, a lot in my mind. And it all happens so fast. And the best stories come out when the best beat resonates with me at the right time.
That's dope. Now I believe that, you know. I want to also just shout out everyone on the comments here.
Yeah.
I usually can't any comments because of my screen. My screen is totally covered, you know. So I don't know what you want to say.
Do you want me to read some for you?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, what's poppin'? Dilla Stone. Dilla Stone's like, yo, love the interview. We got Jimmy Landrose in here. Couldn't have said it better. Sheikh Srampedi saying, yo, Slikour, you too wise, bro. Everybody out here saying true word, true word. Shouts to DJ Lloyd, a legend and a legend in the making. Hey, we got my mom in here. What's up, ma?
Oh,
What's about
shout
you?
out to your moms, you know.
There's someone here who's like, you'll always be my South African Kendrick. Eish, my nigga. I hate that shit. But it is what it is.
How does that Kendrick thing make, you know, I used to diss you. I used to play around with you and go, you know, there's no like Hendrik, you know. I used to,
you know, here's what I hate about it, bro, is that those who call me Kendrick don't know enough about Kendrick, bro. They know like the hype shit, bro. It's like the people I've sat down with, which I'm grateful for, who have been able to explain it. And I'm like, yeah, you caught it. Bro, we were listening to Kendrick in 2009 and 10, bro, when no one was listening to that nigga, bro. You know, the minute he dropped Good Kid, Mad City, Cats Out Here, Kendrick. So now anything, especially with people who are big and famous, if you have even a little salt of something of theirs, they're going to call you that guy. It doesn't matter. Like, nothing's, like, if you even have, like, a mannerism like him, they're calling you that guy because, like, they saw it from him first, or he's the one who's, like, most famous. But what people don't know, bro, Kendrick's cadence, he took it from Rakim, bro. But you see, I can't have that conversation with everybody because no one's studying Rakim. The kids of today, Rakim. You know what I mean? Like, and it all follows. Like, it went from Rakim to Nas to Kendrick. You know, Nas wrote about Rakim, and people don't pick up that we're all kind of like inspired by each other. People take certain cadences because that cadence is dope, bruh. Rakim, they called him number. Remember when they put out the top 50 list?
Yeah.
That was the first time they gave Rakim his flowers, bro, in public. Damn, bro. First time.
But I mean, maybe in your generation, but even when we were listening to this with Nas, Rakim was always like, the king. And then, you know, Big Daddy Kane was like the jigger of the time, where, like, you know, with the punchlines, you know what I mean? So it's always been there. It's just that it's maybe in this generation it hasn't been highlighted, you know. But again, where does a rapper like Nas fit in today's conversation? And one can even say, even Kendrick, you know, I mean, like, he's there, but like, but yo, I don't know what Kendrick's next project is gonna sound like and how it's gonna be received. This new world order of the music. Not to say there aren't any lyrical music, but you know, when you listen to a Kendrick album, you start from the top to the bottom and you follow the theme. And I don't even know if that's even the hip hop culture where people start from the top to bottom, follow the theme, talk about like, yo, did you catch that though? Or, you know, I don't know if people do that. You know what I mean?
I know, bro. I don't think they do that no more, man. And I think that's why I have the fan base that I have. I think my little small core fan base, they care about what I'm saying, hey, bro. They care,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've recorded like 15 projects, you know, someone must care.
Bro, but I want to say something, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what's your take on? Cause yo, it's like a little small frustration of mine, but I don't know how to say it publicly without thinking that people might get offended. I think
Yeah.
there aren't enough OGs commentating on SA hip hop, bro. And there's so many like good SA hip hop OGs. They ain't gotta rap no more or anything, but like it's just too quiet. But I feel like you're speaking because you have your platform. Stogie speaks because he has his platform. But the other OGs, they don't speak because they feel like they have no more music to offer. But like, yo, your voice means a lot to all of us.
I mean, it's not even that though, you know. It's a good question, by the way. I think it's also a case of it's a case of respect also. You know,
Mm,
let me use an example. If I'm a parent and and I'm gonna speak to my kids, I'll literally discipline my kids, right? I'll discipline
mm.
maybe your kids, you know, I'll discipline your kids. But if your kids don't listen, I'm not gonna put in the effort to make them like to force them to listen. And if your kids are disrespectful, and if your kids don't even know where the game comes from, I want to use like this stupid example. And I was I
Okay.
was saying I was saying this with with Dimples yesterday. Whether we like it or not, right?
Mm,
If you like, there's this thing of like, for every young, and it's not this young generation only, for every new
mm.
generation, they forget, most of them forget what came before them. Now, Dimples in his mix, he was playing songs like Yeah Yeah, he was playing like Bay Coop. And then I think Baby Dean literally said, I don't know these songs, you know. And they literally felt that Speedster, where they had that battle and they thought Speedster was going to win because Speedster is literally the guy from their generation, right? Then
Sure,
Casper,
sure.
then Casper commented and said, yo, Baby Dean, do the research, you know, whatever the case be. Now, Casper's literally talking about something that's in his generation. I mean, some of
Yeah.
those songs during Casper's like peak when he was about to break. And Baby Dean is saying, we don't know those joints. You know what I mean?
Mm, mm,
Now,
mm.
imagine Casper's already feeling like, yo, what you mean you don't know those joints? Do the research. Now, already, like, that's more like a defensive of the generation it's a defense on the generation that Casper comes from. Now, Baby Dean has got the option to respond and say, fuck you, Cass. And then
Mm.
everyone else in Baby Dean's generation will go, fuck you, Cass, you know?
Yeah,
And all of a
yeah,
sudden, Cass will go, okay, let me just leave it. Now, you can imagine then there's a generation before Casper, whether it's the layers, tear gas, whatever the case be, as a group, not as KO on their own, you know?
mm, mm.
There's a generation before that, there's whether it's Pro Kid, Selvin, Squad, blah, blah. You know, already like it's almost like the same culture that we built doesn't give us the roses. You
Yes,
understand? The
yes,
same culture
yes,
that we built almost thinks that like they smarter than us because they working on the foundation that we started. It's almost like they
yes,
kind of built level one, now they're on level two, and then they keep looking down like, but who the fuck are you? But they don't realize that in order for level two, there was level one, there's level two.
exactly,
So the
exactly.
OGs at times are not gonna speak because they're like, these kids don't even care about that. Now, for me, it's like fortunately, I've never felt like a rapper. I've
Mm.
always felt like I'm a fan of the culture. Whether it was in
Sure.
America, whether it was in South Africa, I've always wanted to. I mean, when Dre signed his deal with with Beats and Apple bought him for whatever,
Mm.
bought that, I was so excited, like I knew him, you know, because this is a guy I
Yeah,
grew. It's like when I see Will Smith, I'm
yeah,
like, yo. When I see Ice Cube, I'm like, because it's a culture that like I've been a fan of. But like luckily
yeah,
now I can be a fan of local shit. And even further, I can even speak to the local guys and I can make because I'm a fan of the music. So I've
yeah.
never seen myself as an artist, creative per se, but I've always been a fan, you know. So
Yeah.
so even when cats go, well, fuck Slick, who the fuck is Slick? I'm not taking it personal. I'm just like, you know, sorry, I was okay. Now I'm better. I can actually see my comments now. So
You need to
here's what
make
I
that
wanted.
point.
Yeah, yeah. Here's what I wanted to say though. Being a student, obviously, of the music, I've been trying to understand, like, what is trap? What does trap sound like? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, because I listen to how the guys flow, and like, it's like even when I listen to Roddy Rich, it's like something amazing.
Melody. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Melody.
I'm like,
I will never sell my soul. Like a back there.
and I'm like, yo, man, these are melodies,
Yep.
right? These are melodies, and and the melodies, and then I start listening to the beats, and I listen to the beats, and I realize that, wait a minute, this is a whole R&B beat.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Because the rap beat is like boom, boom, cha, boom, boom, cha,
Mm.
I mean, the difference, it's got an 808, but it's like a boom, right? So let me show you something, right? Remove the, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to speak about this guy because this guy is the closest to it,
Sure.
This is Mr. Big. How you doing, Mr. Big?
Yep.
Now here's the difference, right? R. Kelly or R&B guys literally always have like they have vocals, like more vocals in the background to kind of make it sound like melodic. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yep.
they deliver it with the, you know what I mean? And then I was
Yep.
like, wait a minute. The difference with trap is that with trap, you'll never get some backing vocals of like
Mm.
niggas that are, you know what I mean? Just to make it thicker. Trap
Harmonies.
doesn't make it thicker. Yeah, they don't make it thicker with additional vocals. Like, it's
Mm.
just one guy. And like, this is the Keith Sweat type of guy who goes,
Yeah. Yeah.
girl, you know you fine, but I gotta be strong.
Hey.
Ooh, you on my mind, but not, you know what I mean? And I
Yep.
was like, yo, trap music is like R&B, except they're
Yep.
using rap words. And
Yeah.
except that they're behaving like rappers typically, So because I've been thinking about it, I was saying, even a trap beat is like an R&B beat. Listen to how
Fusion,
trap
bro.
Listen to how like an R&B beats used to start all the time. They'll always start with a bass and some type of chords, and then the drum will come on. It's like do do da 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 do do. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then like the
Mm.
guy sings. Now trap beats are like 808, and the guy goes,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then I was like, damn, B, this trap is actually R&B.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe everyone has figured this out, but like I realized that trap is really R&B with auto tune and the beat, because like Roddy Rich, bro, like you listen to that whole thing, those are a bunch of notes, and he might
Yeah,
throw in
bro.
1-2 flow like da 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 da, but like most of it is like I was listening to Little Baby, niggas just singing,
Mm.
and I
Mm.
said, how crazy is that? How crazy is how like music evolves, right? And
Yep.
R&B has come back, and it's so thugging. I mean,
Yep.
that's some crazy shit. The only thing that they've added is the auto tune, and that thing they removed. Those 3 or 4 girls who used to go, "I got you," that made it sound thick. They said, "Nah,
Yes.
we don't need y'all. This nigga gonna do it on his own with the auto tune."
Yes. But
Then
given,
I said, if niggas hate trap music, they might as well hate like R&B.
true, But I think what's gonna make that tougher now, bro, is when we look at R&B back then, it was about you professing your love or being able to be honest about what love has done to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think right now, we're at a time where it's important to be honest about how you feel about love. And that's why I think people like Elaine are doing well, because the timing of the message is right. Like, look at the trap guys. I agree with everything you're saying. I also think it's very melodic. But not everyone's going to make something that's melodically great enough for you to ignore the content.
Now, some of this trap music, doesn't mean that the melody is great. Some of it is just like people who cutting and pasting other people's melodies.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean that the melody is great. You know what I mean? So and when you talk about that now, you know, R&B, but like, you know, I think Bobby Brown, I want to go back to Bobby Brown. When you look at Bobby Brown was like, was doing R&B, was like a bad nigga, you know, doing R&B, but he was hanging with the rappers. Janet Jackson was sleeping with apparently was sleeping with Bobby Brown on the side, and the family that wasn't supposed to know. So you can see that, like, Bobby Brown was trying to be boxed in this R&B is this thing that only looks like Boys to Men, you know?
Yeah.
But then Bobby Brown goes, no, I can be that thing that looks like Boys to Men, but I'm from the streets too, you know, and I'm happy sometimes. So it's almost like the music has more truth now.
Yes.
You know, I mean, if the people that are doing the music, if they do it well, it allows you to use the tools of truth. So you can have Drake, who could be totally emotional, and then do a 2D step or whatever he's doing right now, and then say that he's gonna come shoot you with these boys.
Yes.
Because now he's angry. Because, you know, it's not really gonna shoot you, but I'm angry now. I just want to
shoot them. Yes.
And then, like, they go, yo, yes. The mic, rap about it real quick.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know, it's like so it's for the first time, I think, in music, that specifically in black music, that you can be anything. You can you can be straight, you can be gay, you can be hard, you can be loving, you can be angry, you could be all these things that, like, that history hasn't allowed us to be all these things in one. You know, I think that's the advantage that, like, a lot of new art creatives have. You know what I mean? But B, I know you got to get to work, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I got to duck now. But real quick, just one more thing.
Yeah.
Your top 10 lyricists in SA the past year. And they gotta be busy. Not like people who used to do this shit. People who dropped this past year.
Do you want me to kind of, I don't have that at the top of my head. I need to go sit and think about that and
why do you have to think about it? You don't have to think about it.
I gotta think about everything, B.
I can tell you who dropped.
Okay, go.
Youngster dropped. I think Trilly dropped as well this past year.
Okay, Youngster's dope, right?
P.O. dropped as well.
P.O, you can't question his storytelling.
Yeah. I believe Jimmy dropped this past year as well.
I think Jimmy's dope. I think Jimmy's good on technique, similar to, I still feel the same way that I felt about you with like when you were still on your way up. I think Jimmy's technique is great, but he still needs to he still needs to dig deeper.
Okay, fair.
He's got technique.
Who else?
I'll put you on, ShabZi.
Don't put me on because you feel for me, bro. Put me on if it's facts. Put me on if it's facts, bro.
I mean, obviously, you know, I mean, I do feel sometimes the hood stories are lacking, and I think Touchline really does that well at this point in time. You know.
Yeah.
You see, I got a lot of people, like, there's some people that you might not even know, but I need to sit and just check. You know what I mean?
I word. I'm gonna tweet you and be like, yo, I asked Slikour what who his top 5 is. You must respond to that tweet.
Top 10. Is it top 10?
Top 10.
I mean, like, I gotta really sit down and think about it. You know?
I word. No, it's cool, bro. That's cool.
I gotta think about it. But like resilience, I'm like, and this is why I say I gotta think about it. So, you know, even before I put you on the list, I gotta say most resilient. I definitely give you resilience.
Yeah. Oh no.
That I don't need to think about. Resilience, I'll give you resilience.
Thank you, kid. That one I'll take it because even I know. I walked the journey. Famo, I'm out.
Yo.
Much love to everybody. You know, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, man.
We definitely do a second one with the listening session vibe.
Yeah.
Get that album.
Yeah, it's already framed.
Trust me, bro.
So make sure you get that album from ShabZi. He's going to his day job now.
Yeah.
He's a security guard. He's doing essential services. That's why he's going to work.
Big facts. I'm securing hip hop out here, bro.
Peace, my G.
Peace, Slick.
Broadcast live